Oh my goodness, we have day 2 of our thoughts and the thoughts that we think and how they affect our lives. We had a change in our schedule and we're going to take advantage of it and we're going to focus on our thoughts. And so fasten your seatbelts because it's going to be, hopefully, for some of you, hold on a second. Yeah, there you go. For some of you, this is going to be a change of life. For others, it's just like the way you live. Either way, I hope you join me. You can text me at 407-373-5959. What is your burning desire? What is your burning desire? And we're going to talk about that today and how to achieve it. So here we go. Time to dance. Right here waiting for you.
This is the place you can always turn to when you need a friend. The Lillian McDermott Show. To reach out to Lillian, visit her on the web at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together. Here's Lillian McDermott.
Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott radio show and had an issue with best day ever, it's like, who wants to listen to best day ever at early in the morning or in the afternoon, in the evening? You just want to be a realist and look at what's happening in your life and focus on what's happening on your life. Today, you stumbled upon my show and it's no accident. It is on purpose. So I hope that you learn what this show is about. For those of you who have followed me for the last almost 7 years, I'm so grateful because you know that it is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, and my viewers now on YouTube feel empowered to embrace a new truth and live the life of your dreams. 2 days in a row, that we've had to make some adjustments on the Lillian McDermott radio show. The guest that we had planned for today, I love, absolutely adore her. She's come up with a new book called Always Delicious, and her editor or publisher would not allow her to give away free books. So we decided that we were going to wait till the book is released so that she can give you the deserved book, that the book that you deserve. And for those of you who always work really hard to call 407-373-5959, I want you to put that number in your favorites, because is that the way you do it? It used to be speed dial, now it's favorites, because I want you to always be able to click on me, put me on fast dial, so that if you want one of these books or something that we're giving away, then you have the speed to do it. So today, I am hoping that you kept out your soul shovels from yesterday, because we were diving into our thoughts. And after I got some great feedback from you. Thank you so much. I love it when I get your text at 407-373-5959, or you call me, because it allows me to give you more of what you want. So last night we made the decision to change things up a bit, and I realized that talking about our thoughts in our mind requires a lot more than an hour show. It requires a lifetime of practice. So since I asked you to take out your soul shovels yesterday, I'm hoping that you left them out as you continue to dig deep about the thoughts in your head. What are those thoughts in your head that are affecting your life? Okay, so yesterday I said something and I want to make sure that I kind of reformat it again. I want to share a little bit about our thoughts, the thoughts in our mind. Everything, inventions, disaster, drama, everything begins with a thought. Joy, creating the life that you want, all of that begins with a thought. But for most of us, we don't know where those thoughts come from. So I had shared yesterday, and by the way, I'm so grateful that I get to share my purpose in life, which is to give love and knowledge. These are the things that have changed my life. And I bring people on the show to hopefully change your life or make you aware that there is something different for you. It doesn't have to be the way you think about it. It could be something even more. So we have these tapes in our brain. Yesterday, I talked about Dr. Bruce Lipton. He was the first one to really make me aware the science behind the thought. So Dr. Bruce Lipton said on the Lillian McDermott radio show, which you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com and listen to the show yourself. He said that by the age of 7 or 10, depending on your maturity level, I've always been immature, so I would say 10 for me, we are in like a hypnotic state. And in that hypnotic state, we're human tape recorders. We record everything we see up to the age of 7, and for me 10, and that recording becomes your subconscious. Those are the thoughts in your mind. You have 70,000 thoughts, at least 70,000, some people less, depending on your activity in your brain. You may have less, but you might have more. Out of those 70,000 thoughts, 90% of them you had yesterday and the day before and the day before. They're reoccurring thoughts. But 80% of those thoughts are negative thoughts. Wow. Negative thoughts. So those thoughts in your mind, everything starts with a thought. Then that thought becomes a feeling. Then that feeling becomes an action. So everything in your life is created by the thoughts you think. And I know many of you are thinking, I did not create this in my life. Let's think again. Let's reformat. Like Dr. Bruce Lipton says, you need to tape over the tapes that are in your brain. Retape. So that's what we're going to talk about today, part 2. So I hope your shoulder troubles are out, and we're going to continue our conversation about the brain and the mind and our thoughts when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Here we go. So that's what we did. We made the decision that it was more important for me to give out a free book and talk about the book that I had in hand so that I can learn a little bit more about how to highlight a particular subject. So that was something that happened yesterday. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to talk about the thoughts in your mind. I know that I'm developing some followers, and so I want to share a story that happened to me that completely changed my thoughts. Many, many years ago, I heard Wayne Dyer, and I believe he took that saying from Max Planck, and I'll check it out in a little bit. But Wayne Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That changed my life, but I didn't know how to change my thoughts. So I knew that thoughts were important. I just didn't know how important they were. They're so important. They affect every aspect of your life. So today, I'm hoping that you will join me in this thought process of our mind and how our minds can control our life. Yes, you might be saying, I did not create my disease, and I did not create being rear-ended. Like I didn't create being rear-ended when I went to Jacksonville for the first time. I didn't create that. How did I create that? Well, I happened to be there. I happened to be there so that somebody could rear-end me. That's how I created it. And so if we start looking at things as a negative in our life, then we're going to look at it and defend it as a negative. And so today we're going to be talking about how do we look at something without it being a negative. We can look at it as a blessing in disguise, maybe a blessing that we didn't call for. But if we stay true to this hope that everything that happens to us has purpose, magic. And here we go. Time to dance. Part 2. You can count on me. I'll be right here waiting for you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. And today, I'm so grateful for the privilege to share some of my thoughts that I have picked up along the way. I'm a certified life coach, and that didn't happen. That was not my plan. My plan was to be a mom. That's the way I was raised. I was raised to be a mom, and I loved being a mom, and I still love being a mom. And I'll never stop being a mom. I'm a mom to everybody, but I'm also a friend. And so as my journey went on, I was sharing on off the air that I am, I've always been attracted to self-help books. Perhaps maybe I knew I was broken. I just didn't know the level of my brokenness. I ignored it. I talked about it yesterday on my show, that little hole in my soul. And so I was attracted to that because I wanted to learn more about this part of me that I was, the part of me I kept hidden from everybody. And so I wanted to work on it because perfection was my infection. I wanted things to be perfect. And so with that in mind, every self-help book I could read, I would read. But what changed it for me, my kind of like start of that spark, because every drop that is in a glass of water was just as important to fill that cup. So Wayne Dyer, I read it. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you look at when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That thought right there, that saying was somebody's thought, and it changed my life. I just didn't know how to change it until I started working on myself, because I do not have all the answers, and I knew it, and I wanted to have all the answers. And every place that I went, I wanted to have that perfection because I did not feel enough. I didn't feel that I alone was worthy. And so that was part of my journey. Your journey may be completely different, but the goal is to love and be loved. The goal is to give love and knowledge. The goal is to whatever you can fill in the blanks. So as I was learning about me, it started, it just like I got shot out of a cannon when I started the show, because if I'm going to expect you to grow, then I must lead by example. I had to take off the mask that people were seeing. That was really much what I believe I was. But once I took off the mask and I allowed myself to kind of peel the layers and get to the core, like I said, take out my soul shovel without judgment, without making myself wrong for how I was thinking or feeling. Once I was able to embrace who I truly am and work with myself, I was able to work with my thoughts to the point where when I was sick and my husband would say, "Honey, how you feeling?" "I feel great." And he would say, "Oh, I'm never going to get an answer from you anymore. I want to know how you're feeling." "I am well." I could spend an hour talking to you about my health, but I'd rather say I am well, because that is what I wanted to create. Once I started understanding the power of the thought. So I'm going to share a story with you that happened to me. Yesterday, I shared the story of the beginning of my awareness of the importance of our thought when we were all aligned in a room, when I was going through my personal growth, which is every day. There was one person at the beginning. We were muscle tested at the beginning to our weakness. We were supposed to say our name, and they muscle tested us, and we were all strong. There were about 13 of us in a line. The first person, we were attached to the person on our left by putting our hand over their shoulder. And so we were all to just be silent and just witness what was happening. So the first person was supposed to say a lie. The person would say a lie, and we were all weakened. They would muscle test us at that time. The person tell the truth, and they would ask a question, so they had to answer honestly, and we were all we were all, and they were saying it out loud, okay? And so then we switched to thought. They asked him to do the same thing, but quietly. But the point where we were all weakened was all the thoughts, the negative thoughts. You're stupid, you're fat, you're an idiot, you'll never amount to much. All these thoughts he was having in his mind, tears flowing through his eyes. We were just there. We didn't know what was going on, and we were all weakened. And so it is important, that right there. But then they asked me to be a part of an experiment. We had a 300-pound man sitting on a chair. He was part of the team. And she picked 4 women. I was one of them who was picked. I was the biggest one of all, and I'm 5'6", 125. So I was the biggest one of all. I was taller, I was heavier than everybody else. And so we were supposed to assume the position. Remember that Charlie's Angels, where they would do that pose with a gun? That is what we needed to do. So we were engaged. So we were all 4 of us. The goal was to lift that man up with just our fingers. Can you believe we could do this? She would ask us, can you believe you can lift this 300-pound man, the 4 of you, by using your fingers? And all of us said, yes, we do believe we can do this. And so she said, align your intentions. And we practiced it. And she counted 1, and we had to do 1 pose, 2, and we had to do another pose, 3, and we did another pose. And then, when she hit 4, we were all aligned to pick this person up. We tried it 1 time, failed. And she said, your intention is not aligned. And so this person was not, because she could see us. And so each one of us went through that process. I was just so focused on doing this, I was not aware of what's going on. When we tried this the 3rd time, and we struck the pose, and 2 girls were under his armpits, and 2 girls were under his knee bend, or the bend of his knee. And when at the count of 4, all of us at the same time synchronized our thought, and we lift that man up 3 feet. I don't remember doing it, but we did. And one of the girls lost intention. And when she lost intention, or her thought process changed, we dropped him. But I didn't realize that we had picked him up, because I was so focused on that thought process that he landed on my wrist. Imagine that. That exercise changed my life. I could not focus on anything after that, other than I started to cry. I started thinking about all the things that I thought that I could not do, all the things I told my kids they could not do, all the things that that moment changed my life. But we forget the importance of thought. So let's talk about the importance of the brain. The brain doesn't know the difference between truth or fiction. It does not know the do's and don't. Like, for example, if you say, I don't want to be late, what is being the intention that is being absorbed by your brain is be late. So how do you change that? I'm on time. I don't want to get sick. Again, the brain hears get sick. So how do you shift it? I am healthy. I don't want to marry an alcoholic. I don't want to marry an abuser. What does the brain think? Marry an alcoholic, marry an abuser. What you need to change, when you change the way you process your thoughts, I want to marry, or I want to be with, a sober, healthy person. So do you see that little shift? How many times have you said, I am freaking out? Well, that's exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get more freaking out. Or I am anxious. Oh my goodness. If you're anxious, shift it to I'm excited. Those negative thoughts will weaken every cell of your body. Again, we have about 70,000 thoughts, those 70,000 thoughts, 80% of them are negative. So how do we start focusing on getting positive thoughts? We shift what we are thinking. We rewrite the program that Bruce Lipton said that we were little human recorders, human tape recorders, and those recordings went into our subconscious mind. And now we feed it back to ourselves on a daily basis. Who is that thought? Who is that voice in your head? What is that thought controlling you to do? So it's so important. It's so important that we embrace what we want. If you focus on, Dr. Connealy said this on Friday, if you focus on your disease, you will get disease. What do you want to focus on? I am well. I am healthy. Your thoughts that you think create your life. And if you think you don't create it, then you are a victim. A victim will always be victimized. But how can you change your thoughts to be empowered? So I have a mantra. My mantra is, I am a creative, loving, trusting, intuitive leader. I had forgotten I was created. I had forgotten I was loving. I had forgotten to be trusting. I had forgotten how to be intuitive. And so I tell myself when I felt anxious or those words that we are supposed to reprogram, I am excited. I am trusting. I am loving. I am creative. So I have this mantra. This was my mantra that I created when I was going through my program, which is I am a creative, loving, trusting, intuitive leader. And to that I say, yes, I am. And then I learned another one that was a little bit more generic that I liked is I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise, I am love. Anytime someone is around you that is emitting, because we're all vibrations, and those vibrations, just like that guy that said at the beginning of my introduction of why my thoughts remain positive was because I got to experience, it was an experiential process where I got to feel the energy of the first person, and I was on the 9th position. I was almost at the end of the line. So we need to be careful with who we align ourselves with. If you have somebody in your group that his intention is not aligned with what you believe, step away until you can get strong enough that will not affect you. Eventually, that person will wear you down. They will wear you down like a drip of water on a rock. You will eventually get a groove. You'll eventually get scarred. You'll eventually get marked. Keep your intentions with what you want, and you will create more of what you want. What is your desire? I want you to text me or call me. Tell me what your desire is. 407-373-5959. What have you wanted to create in your life? 407-373-5959. And I hope that you are digging with your soul shovel with me, because we're going to continue this conversation when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. I have to tell you a story. When one of my heroes was, or she still is Louise Hay. And I have her on my vision board of people that I wanted to interview and people I want. And I came very close to doing that. She knew of me. I knew of her through Heather Dane. She introduced me to Louise Hay. And Heather was supposed to be on the show on Monday. And I have never been so awestruck. It was the first time being introduced to Louise Hay. She's my hero. At 50, she wrote her first book. At 60, she started Hay House. She was 90 years old at the time and just as beautiful as you can imagine. She is a champion of keeping your thoughts positive. Napoleon Hill wrote about this in 1937 in the book Think and Grow Rich. And I practiced what I was going to say, and because I wanted to make sure that the words came out of my mouth when Heather introduced me. And I wasn't sure she was going to be there, and Heather wasn't sure 100%, but she was. And so I saw her from afar, went to say hello to Heather. She was about to give a talk. And so Louise approached us, and she said, this is Lily. I've been doing her show, and I thanked her. She said hello, and I said I thanked her. I said, Louise, I'm so glad that I got to meet you. You have changed my life and so many others. Thank you so much for the work that you've done. And I turned to Heather because there was no further conversation after that. And I turned to Heather and I said, I can't wait to hear your talk. And Louise, without skipping a beat, said, you look forward to it, my dear. You look forward to it, my dear. I said, excuse me? You look forward to it, my dear. I got corrected by Louise Hay. Yay! I learned how important a negative and a positive sound.
373-5959. Once again, here's Lily.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn and grow with one another. And today, I have the privilege to continue our conversation that we started yesterday. I ask you, my listening friend, my viewers as well, what is your burning desire? Why haven't you achieved it? What's keeping you from the life of your dreams? Could it be your limiting beliefs? So this is what we take. This is why responsibility, if you take one word for my show, that is it. I could say 3 words, 100% responsibility, but really responsibility. But we have given the word responsibility a bum rap. Responsibility in my book, in my show, means empowerment and freedom. Freedom from whatever happened in the past that you cannot change. It is what it is. You embrace it. You look at that as a defining moment in your life to create something different. That is how you look at it. And that is the kind of movement that I am creating. I would love for you to align your intention not only with me, but at a higher level than me. And I want you to raise me up or raise each other up to this new vibration, this new alignment that we discuss at whenyouneedafriend.com. That is my website. For many of you, you have been listening to my show for a long time. In the Jacksonville area, I've been there since June of 2017. Unbelievable. If you've been listening to my show, whether you stumbled upon it today or you've been listening to it and you still have not subscribed, I want for you to align your intention with me. My intention is to share this information to people that have never heard it before. I am not the answer. There's only one. There's one direction. There's a direction to the answers. There's many, many paths to the answer. I'm one of those paths to get to that answer. It's part of our journey. And we must trust the process. No matter what's happening in your life, if you look at it as a curse or the cards that you were dealt, you're not going to be as productive as changing that as if you're saying, this is an opportunity for growth. What are you being called to do and be at that next level? If you want to align your intention with me, please become a subscriber at whenyouneedafriend.com. You go to lillianmcdermott.com. Both two paths will take you to the same place. Whatever you want to do, just go there. Not only go there, I want to encourage you that if you have liked me at Facebook or in my social media, that you invite your friends, not just post, hey, like this girl. Invite them. Make it a point to be invitation. Just because you invite doesn't mean people have to join you, but at least you have done your part in aligning yourself. If you know a business that could align themselves with what I am about, then tell them to become a sponsor. Go to my website and check out those sponsors before them that have aligned with my philosophy that said, we believe that we are powerful people beyond belief. That creator that created you with the power to create. I don't know if that's ever been written, but Ashley, if you're listening, please put that in a meme. Anyway, so here we go. This is the way that I want us to help me. I'm going to ask because I'm always helping everybody else, okay? So today I'm asking you to help me grow the show. Go to whenyouneedafriend.com. Tell people about the show. Don't let just anybody just stumble. And it's great if you stumbled upon my show. That's wonderful. But go to my social media. Invite. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube, Facebook. I am on Twitter. What else am I on? Anyway, I'm on social media and I'm on podcast on demand. I'm also on YouTube. I want you to go to whenyouneedafriend.com so you can subscribe by hitting a little button that says YouTube. It takes you right to my YouTube channels and you can get the conversations on and off the air. But here's the thing that happens when you become a subscriber at whenyouneedafriend.com. The shows are sent to your iPhone or to your tablet or smartphone. Sorry, I'm a little partial to iPhones. But if whether you have Android or an iPhone, it doesn't matter. As long as it's a smartphone or a tablet, it will go to you. That way, if you can't catch the show at the times that it's aired at 8, noon, and 5, right now, those are the times. But my intention is that it goes global. I am just one way to that path, that yellow brick road that you have. So please go to whenyouneedafriend.com, check out my sponsors, and support them the way they have supported me on the show. Okay, so now we've talked about a lot of things about the show. About our thoughts. I received a text saying, I don't understand the do and don't of the brain. That's okay. You don't need to understand it. Just know to keep your thoughts positive. Focus on what you want as opposed to what you don't want. The do and the don't. Focus on what you want. If that doesn't make sense to you, the don'ts and the do's and the fact or fiction, focus on what you want. What is your burning desire? Write it down. Write it down. So I've been reading the book, so has my husband, called Think and Grow Rich. It's not about growing rich in financial only. It's about growing rich in empowerment and the freedom and what you want to accomplish in your life. So it's not just about like The Secret. I love the concept of The Secret, but they made it all about thinking. It's not just about thinking. Your thoughts become feelings. Those feelings become action. So when you think, that is what is going to create. Every creation in this world, every invention has started with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. So if everything starts with a thought, what are you thinking? If you're not happy with your current circumstance, could it be that you're focused on what's wrong in your current circumstance? Again, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So, if you're unhappy with your job, focus on the job you want. So, Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich has about, I think it's 13 principles. Not enough time, perhaps maybe tomorrow, who knows? Maybe tomorrow will be part 3 of the show, but today is part 2. And so the principle 1 is desire. So what is your burning desire? So Napoleon Hill talks about different things in your life that creates. He interviewed many men for 20 years and how they were millionaires. These were men that were wealthy. What were the commonality? What was the commonality in all these men and women? Because there are a lot of women who are very, very popular and famous too. So when I say men, I'm just going, the book was written in 1937. So there was a little bit more male biased. So what is it that you want to create? If you focus on what you don't have, again, you will get more of what you don't want. So Napoleon, these are the 13 principles of Napoleon Hill. And we'll see if we can have the time to go over some of the highlights. Desire, principle number 1. 2, faith. 3, auto-suggestion. That means read what you want twice a day. Rewrite those programs, those 80,000 negative thoughts, and make it more of your conscious. Learn something new with your conscious mind. That's when we are learning and we are growing. That's when your conscious mind is being energized, it's being affected. But once you learn how to do it, it goes into your subconscious mind, and that becomes that tape, that becomes your limiting beliefs and what holds you back. So let me go back to principle number 4, specialized knowledge. So do you need some specialized knowledge to achieve what you want? Because you don't need the desire is more important, because you can get specialized knowledge anytime. You can just get a degree, a certification, whatever it is. But that desire, that faith in that you can accomplishment is going to trump, because you can get that knowledge anytime you want. You need to have 5th principle, imagination. 6, planning, organized planning. 7, decision. You make the decision that this is what you're going to do. Just like the 3 other girls, we decided that we were going to lift this guy with just our fingers, 300 pounds, 3 feet up on the air. We did that with just our 2 pointer fingers. That's it. Then the principle number 8, persistence. That's my middle name. Persistence. Be willing. Number 9, the power of the mastermind. Surround yourself with like-minded people that believe you can, that have achieved more than you have. Principle number 10, transmutation. Be charming and convincing, just like I'm hoping I will charm you into becoming a subscriber of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. And we're going to continue with the rest of the principles when we return worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. Okay, so I'm going to go into, principle number 11. I need to go through those 11 through 13 when we come back. That's the final principle. Okay, so desire. What do you desire? Write it down. All these things we must write down. In order for us to achieve, we must do something different that we were willing to do before. One could say, I want to, but that person told me I'm not enough. I would like to do this, but, he won't let me. I don't have enough money. Whatever those circumstances are, put those out of your mind. Just focus on your desire. Then, do you believe you can achieve this? And so that belief that you can achieve it. So first it's the thought, then it's the feeling. I can do this. Then you write it down. And twice a day, according to Napoleon Hill, twice a day, you read the list. So if you want to find a soulmate, or you want to create a business, just ask for that download, for that thought, that pure thought to come into what you can conceive, you can achieve. And so write it down. Write down the process that you're going to do it, create a business plan, whatever it is. Read that plan twice a day, every day, according to Napoleon Hill and his Think and Grow Rich book. And so this is not new. This has been around since before time. So here we go. Let's see. So principle number 4, using knowledge, not acquiring it. So you can specialize knowledge. So if whatever it is that you're desiring, do you need education? What do you need to learn in order to achieve what you want? So education is right around the corner. You can become certified, you can become an apprentice, you can become a volunteer. Learn whatever it is that you need to achieve that what you desire. Then there's imagination. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So one of the examples that Napoleon Hill uses on the book is the difference between synthetic and creative. Synthetic ideas in the imagination come from other people that imagined it, and you improve upon it. So that's synthesizing what already exists. And then there's the other kind of imagination, which is creative imagination, like the Orville, like the plane. You know, there was a bird, and they took that and said, okay, I want to fly too. Is that synthetic or is that creative? It could have a little bit of both. They use something that already existed to create something they imagine. Creativity was maybe when they built the computer, when they created the radio. There was nothing out there. And so that may be creative. So there's more to this. Book is great. And here we go. This is our last segment. I'll be right here waiting for you. Oh, thank you.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Okay, here we go. Now, we have been talking. You're listening to the Lillian McDermott radio show, where you can hear us worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. Please align your intention with mine. I want to share. I want to grow this show. I want great sponsors that will align themselves with me to create something different, to create abundance in this world instead of focusing on lack. I've often said, and I know that some of you, maybe I shouldn't say it because my throat just closed up. I'm going to go with my original intuition, which is to share this. I'm going to tell you principle number 11. I went through my edit package, and I'm just going to continue on with the principles that I've been learning with Napoleon Hill. Principle number 11 is the subconscious mind, which is what we've been talking about. The subconscious mind that you've made up, these recordings in your head. It's time to re-record the recordings in your head. It took me going to a place where nobody knew my name. It was not associated with my church. It was not associated with anybody I knew, to focus on who I am, to take away the limiting beliefs that I had that were planted when I was young. One of them was that I would never amount to much. And the second one was that I was unlovable. Now, I could say that they planted that seed in me, or I can look at it as, wow, I made that up about myself because of what they said. Or I could say, wow, I learned how not to treat a child. Or love is so powerful for me. I don't care what happens in my life. I choose love, because the difference between love, living life out of love. And I remember when I did this exercise I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, of the learning about the power of the thought. Let me tell you, it brought me to my knees. I went back to every one of my kids, and I told them that I am so sorry that I raised them in fear. I raised all of them with fear, because that's how I was raised. And I wanted to end the cycle. I asked for forgiveness for each one of my kids. That was so important, that they knew that I did believe in them, that I do believe in them, but I didn't want them to fail like I had failed. Guess what? Failure is important to figure out what you want. It is part of the process. And I did that to my kids. I created that fear. Now it's their turn to embrace love. It is their turn to learn from my mistakes, my growth opportunities, so that they can raise their kids with them feeling that they are enough. Remember, I was very good at solving problems. I was really good at figuring out. The way I was raised, I used my talents, but I didn't know how to use them for the good of all. I learned how to use my talents for me. And as I grow older and I grew older, you can use the gift of wisdom as a soft place to land, or you can use it as a sword. to defend yourself and to just stab. Not everybody is ready for that truth, that new truth. I didn't know how to use this wisdom that I was given. And so in doing it, I became really good at solving problems. And I solved problems before people knew there were problems. And so I needed to let go and let people just be. Go through their process, go through their yellow brick road to discover the beauty in them. And that's why I'm so passionate about the show. I want you, my listening friend, my viewing friends, I want you to know that you are enough. You can figure this out. You were given the power, the tools, everything that you needed to create what you want. Don't use the past to poison you like the bite of the snake. It's not the bite, it's the venom that runs through your blood. Another quote from Wayne Dyer. Unless you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will not change. So instead of a curse in your life, look at it as an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to create something new. But let me go back. I still promised you 3 more principles from Napoleon Hill. And the principle number 11 that we talked about was the subconscious mind that Bruce Lipton taught me many, many years after 1937. And many years prior to that, many people knew this as truth. The 12th principle is the brain. The brain. What are you doing with your brain? What are you feeding your brain? Are you feeding more truth? Or are you feeding yourself lies? Are you feeding yourself love? Or are you feeding yourself fear? They say the opposite of love is hate. No, the opposite of love is fear. Because hate is a subset of fear. So please understand that what you put into your brain will pick up the who you associate yourself with. Their vibration will come into you. So make sure you keep your thoughts, your brain pure. What are you feeding it? Hopefully, healthy, nutritious food that will fuel the brain just like unleaded gas feeds a Lamborghini. You are a Lamborghini. You just need to put the right gasoline in it, right? And the final principle is your 6th sense. That is your intuition, your gut feeling. So every morning when I wake up, I say, I am grateful. I am so thankful for today. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you for another day, another opportunity to grow. But here's the thing. I always ask, what do I need to know today? And guess what I told my husband, I said, I think I'm going to call it a download because I don't know where these thoughts come from, but I'm just telling you, this is what came today. It says, I needed to tell you today to eliminate the chatter, which is what we've been talking about, the thoughts. So we can hear the voice of our Creator. The Creator who created you gave you the power to create. My God is not a hoarder. My God is an abundant God. My Creator God is abundant. He doesn't want me, oh God, I can't believe I said he. Excuse me. God doesn't have gender. We have made God into our image instead of the other way around. Our Creator has always been, always will be. And that power that created me is everywhere, right? But somehow we think that power is outside of us. That power is in me. That same power is in you. And if that God who created this universe, that Creator who created all things, a spark of that is in me, I can do all things. You can do all things. Seriously. A God of lack is not God. It's a God of abundance. And all we need to do is ask and receive. And don't tell me, well, I'm a realist. I know what's really going on in my life. Don't tell me that, because you can go down the side of these were all created for the good of what I needed to learn today. So eliminate that chatter from your mind so that you can hear that intuitive voice from your creator. I wrote an article about that. Remember, again, that power that created you gave you the power to create. Our creator is everywhere. It's you and me. Again, forgive your failures. See them as opportunity for growth. And to quote William Ernest Henley, you are the master of your fate, the master of your soul. Thoughts are magnets. What are you attracting? Please remember, I am right here waiting for you. Worldwide, attract what you want. Adversity is everybody's life. Everybody has that in their life. So turn it around, change it. And please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. This is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Make it the best day ever. I hope I made it, Brian. I hope I made it because I haven't been making it lately. Okay, so that's the end of my show, but it's not the end of the story. What is your burning desire? What have you been wanting to create? Write it down. Commit it to memory and get rid of anybody that tells you you can't. Surround yourself with successful people, not just talkers that talk about success. Look, observe, measure. Do I want to align myself with that intention, with that vibration, and then decide, this is someone I want in my circle of friends. I'm not saying don't have people with low vibration. Sadness, depression, you can help them, but you need to be strong because that vibration can zap you and all of a sudden you find yourself weak again. So be very clear with your intention and do not allow anyone to tell you that you can't achieve what you dream. Please remember, I'll be right here waiting for you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about my article in Florida Today that should be out already. And I'm very grateful that you have remained with me till the end of this broadcast. Please share this. Please subscribe. Please help me grow my show and your show. It's our show. We're all one. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to our next conversation.